I didn't want to get started without you, so I
Okay.
think we just started.
No,
Tiana,
thank you. Thank you for waiting. Hi, everyone.
hi. We can go on to the next slide, Tiana. Thank you. So this is what the agenda looks like for this workshop today. So Naaz and myself will introduce ourselves, and we'll have a COVID conversation. And then we'll get into some mindfulness tips and tricks and actions to take. We'll talk a little bit about our own core values, and then we'll let you guys know some of resources and some techniques that will be emailed to you guys after the workshop, or at least tomorrow, because today we'll be here for till 7:30. Okay, you can. Next slide, Tiana. So I'm Jodeliz Cora. I'm a Boston alumni from class of 2013. I'm the chair of the Year Up Alumni Board, and I'm a personal development coach.
And hi, everyone. My name is Naaz Ali. I am from San Francisco Bay Area and from class 14. Previously, I was the Alumni Association Development Manager, and now I am just working on a side business and working a full-time job and also a student. So kind of managing a lot of things, and I can't wait to share on some techniques that help me get through all this. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. Awesome, thank you. So Gina actually sent off a pre-work in the email. So you guys took a moment to read the question, what have you done to keep mindful since the pandemic? So I'll take let's take 30 seconds to allow some responses for this question. And while we're taking that time,
hey, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if it's just me, but your connection is going in and out. Is it just me?
No, it's not. It's not just you.
Okay, so I'm like glitchy. So not sure what to do. Let me check.
Are you connected via headset, or are you just talking into your laptop?
I'm speaking directly on the laptop. Is my voice not clear?
No, it's just that there's like some static, like breakthroughs every once in a while.
Okay, I don't have a headset to put on, so sorry guys. I will try to speak slower. I don't know if that would help.
You're sounding really clear.
Can you guys hear me?
Go at that pace.
All right. Okay, I'll try to remember to speak a little bit slow. Okay. So let's take 30 seconds to put in some responses to the pre-work that Gina sent out. And the pre-work question is, what have you done to keep mindful since the pandemic? And yeah, since we're taking 30 seconds, I'll share what I've picked up during the pandemic. So a mindful technique that I've done was starting to use yoga. So I've never been a yoga person, but since at my new job, I have some authority on what we can bring in as like activities for the employees. So I actually partnered with a yoga instructor, and now we have forced weekly yoga. It's optional for the employees. For myself, I try to join every session, and in doing that, it's really helped with relaxation, just mindful thoughts, and also physical activity. So if there's anyone who's interested in yoga, feel free to reach out to me. I have some connections and possible options for free classes, and it's all virtual. And also interactive. So yoga is a really good exercise. And okay, I believe we have one chat. So Chantel said she learned how to rest my HPA access. I actually do not know what that is. Chantel, do you want to maybe let us know more about it? Or I'm not sure if you can chat directly. Is that something we can do? Tiana?
I unmuted myself if that's okay. Can you hear me?
Okay, hi.
You can hear me? Okay, cool. So the HPA access is
Yes,
actually
I can hear
a
you.
scientific, it's kind of a scientific thing. It's a hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. And it's what gets engaged when you fall into like a fight or flight, and some people freeze kind of response. But what I learned going to a holistic healing workshop session is that we enable that response in times when we don't even have to, and oftentimes we even stay in that reflex for a really long time that causes a lot of stress. And so there's a really simple way, very like breathing technique related, to learn how to reset that and calm you down. And so that was a cool practice that I learned, and it actually works. Sometimes it takes like a minute, and sometimes it takes like 10 minutes, but just doing that breathing work really thoughtfully and understanding like what's working helps me be more mindful.
Thank you so much. I love that. I actually didn't know exactly the term HPA access. But yeah, the breathing exercise is definitely something that really helps with calming the nerves, and I actually do want to do a little activity later on. So thank you so much for sharing. Okay, and we'll take one more. Jessie, she said, sorry, she or he, I'm not sure. With a lot of downtime, I tried redecorating my room in my new place. Also bike around the city. Oh, thank you, she, her, thank you. And bike around the city, my friend, not from Europe, has a community cleanup every Sunday, so I do that often. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. I love that you're redecorating your new place. That is so much healing. If anyone, let me talk a little bit slower. If anyone knows a lady named Marie Kondo, she is the, does this bring you joy? Yeah. So I don't know if you've heard of her, Jessie, but definitely look into that. That will help with redecorating your room even more and bring you some more zen, which I love Marie Kondo. Watch her on Netflix, guys. Alrighty. Oh, okay. Oh, let's actually take one more. Oh, I love this. Marina said, I learned to prioritize and reorganize my scheduling virtually for both work and school, and changing my apartment setup to make it comfortable with the change. That is so awesome. Thank you. Yes, Headspace app is amazing. If you guys haven't tried that, thank you, Juan. Okay, I'm going to move on just for time. Thank you so much for the responses. Okay, great. Tiana, if you can go to the next slide. Thank you. Okay, this slide is a little shocking. First of all, if you see on the main screen, you're seeing numbers at a glance. And this slide, I really want to, it's a little of a downer, but it's important to know, oh, you see a picture or a little emoji doesn't show. But yeah, this slide, we're going to talk a little bit about COVID and the impact and how we're seeing this. So as you can see that confirmed cases are 29,737,453 people. Each case is a person. Just think about that for a second. And confirmed deaths are 937,391. Let that sink in for a moment, because for someone like myself, I have chose to limit my time on watching the news stations, engaging in like anything that is, I mean, it's good to be aware of what's going on in the world, but it's not good to over-engage where you're starting to worry yourself. So for me, I tried to limit that, and I really thought we were around maybe 100 or 200,000 maybe confirmed cases or confirmed deaths. Confirmed deaths, not confirmed cases. So knowing that the case count is 937,000, that is something that, you know, it's a very large number that I didn't even think. So I just went to see, sorry, give me 1 minute. Okay. So seeing these numbers, I want you guys to take a moment and to really like think about like, how does that make you feel? Knowing that we're close to almost 1 million confirmed cases. And also these numbers are from the World Health Organization. When we do send this slide deck out, that there is a link on that bullet point, so you can actually see maybe today it's more. This was actually reported 2 days ago. So if you'd like to keep note on exactly where we're at with COVID cases, this is a great link. And yeah, it's really crazy how impact this coronavirus has on the world. And also to take note, of course, how we're seeing it on news stations and on the radio. And also this is something that really disrupts people's lives. Aside from COVID, there's so many more things going on. I don't want to take too much time talking about that, but just knowing these numbers can really make people feel anxious, stressed. I mean, there's families out there who are literally dealing with it and not being able to see their loved ones in the hospital to even say goodbye. So this is a very serious, I mean, we all know how serious this is. It's just, how do we deal with this type of information going forward or just during? And that's what we're going to take a look at today, is what techniques we can do to deal with this. And Tiana, if you can please go to the next slide. Thank you. So the way we can deal with this is focusing on how to care for you. So if you can see on the top right corner, I just want to read the Merriam Dictionary's definition. And the definition is, for self-care, it's to care for oneself. And I want to include my own definition for it, which is a little bit close to it, which is the practice of taking action towards preserving one's own self, internally and externally. I have internally there, but I also meant to put externally. And so to expand on that definition, with self-care being external and internal, that can mean having activities that you enjoy doing. For myself, it's getting my nails done or getting a new fit. Internally, I enjoy taking walks with a friend or family member, or meditating. So whatever your self-care activity is, really use it during these times, because it will really heal and push you forward. The point of really emphasizing this is to remind yourself that you have free healing options all around you. You don't have to go and pay to get a massage or pay thousands of dollars for, like, I don't know, anything, but if those things bring you joy, that's great. But if it's outside of your means or situation, then really try to do these free healing activities. And one of my favorite, excuse me, one of my favorite one I will talk about next. But really just, it's truly beautiful to know how healing is. For myself, going back to 2017, I really struggled with self-care. It was actually something very new. It was kind of a new vocabulary word in a way. I never had the problem of feeling stressed and anxious. And after going through Year Up and going into corporate America, the stress levels and anxiety levels were like through the roof, because it was, you know, going to a new environment, having all this pressure. Some of us, most of us, are probably not exposed to that. And a way to deal with that, you know, is self-care. It's not the external things. What I did try a lot was constantly getting like a back massage or a facial, just doing pampering services, because I thought that was really helping with my stress and anxiety, but it wasn't until I learned about self-care. So really trying to emphasize how it's helped me and how it can really help others during this time. And during this pandemic, the last pandemic really we had was like in the 1900s with the influenza virus. So of course, influenza is the flu. So, you know, just to, you know, think about like how these pandemics are coming. We are literally going through a pandemic, and yeah. So let's go into my favorite self-care tip, which is meditation. And I would actually, before we go into the next slide, or it's okay if we are, I wanted to do a little activity. So if everyone listening, if you can please take a moment to take a deep breath by inhaling slowly through your nose. Let's do that together. Hold for a second, and then exhale through your mouth. Okay, so now let's try that again. And after the exhale, I want you to keep your eyes closed for 30 seconds. Just give me one moment while I get my timer. Okay. So everyone, if you can please, now, if you can close your eyes. Inhale through your nose. Exhale. And then hold for, keep your eyes closed for 30 seconds. And keep breathing, of course, please. But keep your eyes closed. Okay, flutter your eyes open. That was 30 seconds. So hopefully you guys are feeling a little more calm. I know I am, especially in this setting. Thank you, Marina. Yeah, so breathing exercises is, you see, it's impactful. It's very important to take a moment to yourself. If you're ever feeling stressed or anxious, try what we did. 30 seconds. Close your eye, like take a deep breath and just close your eyes for 30 seconds. I guarantee it will make you feel relaxed. Okay, and I just want to go really quick for my next slide because Jody has amazing other tips, and we also have a toolkit at the end of the workshop that talks about these things. So this slide right here is meditation techniques, and I've linked an article where I talk more about each one of them. But really quick, I just want to let you guys know, if you didn't know, that there are actual different types of meditation options. It's not just exactly what we did right now is number one, which is the focused meditation. The focused meditation is actually really good for people who have a lot going on. Myself included, I do focused meditation a lot. And sometimes it's the 30 seconds, because sometimes that's all I feel like I have for myself, but that's not true. But definitely try that if you're ever feeling stressed. Mindful meditation is where you pay attention to your thoughts. So this is where you actually start thinking to yourself in the meditative state and reflect on your day or reflect on a conversation. It's just more mindful. Spiritual meditation is where you reflect on the silence around you and seek a deeper connection with God or the universe. Movement meditation, this is like yoga or Tai Chi if you're familiar. Mantra meditation is when you repeat the Oms. So if you know, many monks do the Oms. That's when you're repeating an Om. It really has a vibration to it. So it's amazing if you haven't tried it. So just when you're doing your focused meditation, try adding some Oms in there and just see feel the vibration in your body, and let me know how it goes. I actually am very interested. And transcendental meditation is similar to mantra, but it's more customizable. So again, a lot of this is broken down in the article, and it's included in your toolkit. So if you're ever feeling stressed or anxious, please try to use some meditation techniques. They will help with whatever situation you're going through, and may also help with coping during COVID, not if you have COVID. If you have COVID, my heart goes out to you. I hope for health and happiness, and that you overcome it. But yeah, if you try these techniques. So thanks all for your time and this platform to share this information. I hope I was speaking a little bit more slower and you can hear what I'm saying. So sorry again for my connection, and I will I'll let Jody have the floor. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you, Naaz. Can everybody hear me? Someone say something. I think everyone's cameras. Oh, okay, no.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool. All right, Tiana, do you mind? Next slide, please. So the pre-work had 2 questions. So the first one, Naaz already covered. The second one is, what is something that you learned about yourself during 2020? I would like to get at least 1 or 2 people to answer on the chat. And then I'll share mine if no one's ready, but I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to answer the question on the chat. Okay, so while I wait, I will share one thing. I learned a lot about myself during COVID and during 2020 and everything else that 2020 had in store for us. But the one thing that I will share is my love for nature. It was a shocker for me. I'm not a homebody, so I don't understand why I never noticed that before. But when COVID, when everything hit here, especially with COVID in Boston, I'm in Boston, the weather started to get a little better. So I was able to go outside and go to parks, go to lakes, even beaches, just to sit and reflect. There's a lot of that 2020 forced us to do. So I'm similar to Naaz, I meditate a lot in the mornings. So meditating with nature, I would have to say, has one of the things that had helped me a lot to stay sane and safe during 2020. Let me see, somebody, oh, I see some Marina says she saved a lot of money. Okay, that's good. I think.
Hey, Jody, I can share something.
Okay, go for it.
Hey, this is Chris from Boston. I think what I learned during 2020 was that being busy, I think like kind of keeps me from sometimes paying attention to some of the things that like I actually deal with. like my work day and like home and all this stuff, like used to be like I used to be so good at like just going to work and kind of being focused there, but then being at home I think makes you like just sit with things more, and then it just kind of like puts some things into perspective as far as like maybe certain parts of who you are that maybe you're neglecting or things like that. So I think 2020 for me has been really like reflective, and it also has like pushed me to, I guess, like work on the things that I was working on by just keeping busy.
Thank you, Chris. A couple of folks said they realize how much can change in an instant. Didn't realize how much she procrastinated in her career and her life. Someone else said career-wise, I was anxious about pivoting to meet the immediate business needs because of COVID. Someone else said, I practiced vulnerability with some of my close friends. During this time, I just went through a mental roller coaster ride. So it helped to have a group of people who has my back, which is amazing to know that, right? You know, we're not alone. And I think some of us felt that way. I've had a lot of friends who just lived alone. For example, I had a roommate at the time, so I had someone there for me, but I know people that lived alone. So during the first half of the year, it was chaos just because they just felt alone, especially with everything that was going on in the world. So I understand that. Thank you guys for sharing. Tiana, do you mind going on to the next slide? So I'm aware that the workshop topic is mindfulness during COVID, but there's a lot that went on during 2020 for us. So for me, I would like to hone into the whole understanding of what's important to us since COVID, since BLM, since everything that's going on in the world right now. 2020 has definitely forced us to stay still and reflect. And for me, that's very important. Yes, I'm gonna blame it on the fact that I am a personal development coach. So I do thrive of working with people in their development. But I also do think it's important for us as humans to really understand what is important to us, and how can not knowing what's important to us do a disservice to ourselves. So when reflecting on yourself and what's important to you, one thing that has worked for me is shifting away from what to why. Being able to answer the why question is very important. So why you hang out with the people that you do, why you do things that you do, why you work the place that you work. Because as humans, and I feel like once you start to really dive into your self-reflection and self-awareness journey, you start to understand, okay, I'm good at this. That doesn't mean I like this. That doesn't mean this is important to me, right? Like I can share an experience. I know I quit corporate America in December of 2019. And just because it took me, I was in corporate America for about 5 to 7 years. And it definitely took me a long time to realize this is not for me. I was good at it. I learned a lot, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me because what I did on a day-to-day did not align with my values. It did not align with what I really wanted to do. So that's first. Second, I would encourage everyone to really be mindful of your time. I know there's a quote that people like to use, time is money, but time is also of the essence, right? So want to be mindful of the time and how you're spending it. I'm really big on calendars, and my time management can go from yes to no really quickly. For me, I can only speak on my personal experience. I work well under pressure, and I have always a lot on my plate, and I try to manage as much as I can. But this is when times where I'm really overwhelmed, I take a step back, and I try to make sure that everything that I'm doing is aligned with my values. That way, what I'm doing, I'm giving it my all at 100%. You could tell when you're doing something that it doesn't serve you, when it becomes a drag, when you're not putting your all to it. And that's when you kind of identify, okay, this is really not important to me. Let me shift the focus. Next slide, Tiana. So how to stop overthinking. This topic for me is important, and I talk a lot about it with my clients, especially this year with everything that has taken place. Nothing is, we're all in the unknown, and I like to be in the know. So these are some topics and tips that, you know, for me, when I am an overthinker, I would honestly say that. I don't need to lie about it. I overthink and overanalyze everything. I do think that creating a balance between understanding when and when not to overthink is very helpful. Sometimes overthinking can stop you from a great opportunity, right? So you want to make sure that there's a balance, because sometimes overthinking can also help you, right? So eliminating the gossip with your mind. So not in your mind, with your mind. So we have to make sure that our heart and mind aligns with each other, and ensuring that we're not spiraling out of control mentally, and making sure that whatever decision we make next is the one that's suitable for us. Practicing gratitude has definitely been helpful to stop overthinking. I am grateful and thankful every day. I wake up with a grateful heart and go to bed with a thankful soul, just because even the good, the bad, and the ugly works for me. Like, at times as humans, we're going to get upset when things don't go our way, or when things shift in a way that we were not prepared to handle. But just being thankful for the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? There are experiences, there are there are lessons. So I'm very grateful for that always. So practicing gratitude would definitely help you overthink. Stop overthinking, excuse me. That way, if you're grateful and you're thankful, you don't need to overthink. You're just gonna let go and let it be. Focusing on what serves you. So for me, for a long time, I had an excuse of, well, I'm not selfish. There's nothing selfish about me. But in order for you to become, I learned through trial and error that in order for me to become selfless, I need to be selfish. I need to focus on me. I need to work on me. I need to find what grounds me. Really hone into who I am as a person in order for me to be of service to anything that I do, work, personal life, and then the people that I love and care for. So that's definitely important. Once you focus on you, you're not going to overthink, because you're set in your morals and your beliefs. If you can't change it, why waste your time thinking about it? I learned that this is one of the second to last things I learned, because I like to change things to make it work for me. And I learned that there's just certain things you're just going to have to go with the flow with. So that's one of them. If I couldn't change backing out of doing this workshop just because I was nervous or anxious, I just had to go with it and start thinking about it and bring my best self to the forefront. So challenges like that, just ensure that don't waste your time thinking and overthinking and analyzing and what if, just go for it. And that goes to the next bullet point. Put a time limit on your thought. So whenever I'm overthinking or overanalyzing, or my palm starts sweating, I give myself 5 to 10 minutes to think about it. After that time is up, I'm no longer thinking about it. I'm no longer dwelling and trying to figure out ways to get over it. No, I'm just gonna let it go. The last bullet point here is knowing your triggers. For me, this was hard because I used to just disregard everything that bothered me and just push through, not understanding the importance of knowing when something truly bothers me and why. So going back to what I was saying earlier, the importance of the question why will definitely help you figure out the underlying issues that we all have within. And in the toolkit, there's a document that's provided with all of these bullet points, but way more thoroughly, that you guys can just read upon and reflect. Next slide, Tiana, please. What are your core values? So with understanding what's important to us, with everything that has been going on during 2020, I had a client during the last 6 months who wasn't understanding what core values were. For me, to be completely transparent, the first time I heard about core values was at Year Up. I did not know, I didn't really understand what it was. but Europe did a good job and still does a good job at ensuring that we understand what core values are and what they stand for. So I provided a definition here for all of you, and I highlighted a person or organization. So the fundamental beliefs of a person or organization. These guiding principles dictate behavior and help people understand the difference between right and wrong. So for me, as humans, it's very important for us to develop our own core values. If organizations and companies are successful because they have strong core values and strong beliefs as their foundation, imagine how far us humans can go if we also had core values and things that we stuck to who we are, disregarding what people say and anybody. I know for a little bit there, some people confuse it with characteristics, two different things. So just being mindful of the difference between the two. Like, you can have characteristics, but core values is, what you stand for at the core of who you are. So these 3 questions here are starter questions. So there is a guided document that I created as well on how to be able to identify your core values with a set of questions and prompts for you all. You guys will all receive this later today or tomorrow morning from the Alumni Relations team. So these are the 3 questions that I usually start off with, especially when I'm with clients, just because these are the main things that as humans we do. We work, we have relationships, and we socialize. So once you start identifying, okay, what is important to you in your work? What is important to do in your relationships? And this is any relationship. And what's more important to you in your social life? Like, I'm not going to work in a place that I don't feel comfortable because of the color of my skin and my background. So I'm not going to work there. That ties into my core values. What's important to you in your relationships? If I am in a relationship with anyone, friend, partner, family, business partner, whatever it is, if there's something that doesn't sit well with me and they're not aligned, if there's trust issues, if there's any level of toxicity, I will no longer remain in that relationship because it's not tied with who I am at the core. What is important to you in your social life? I'm not going to go every weekend to the club, drink my life to death just because my friends are doing it or because it's a fun thing to do, because I'm working on my health and on my fitness and knowing and all of that, and how alcohol, we could socially drink, that's very normal. But using it as a coping mechanism is not the way to go. And if it doesn't tie to your core values, you shouldn't entertain it. So I would like to know in the chat, I think we have a couple of more minutes. I want at least 1 or 2 people in the chat to see if anyone has core values. I will share mine, but I would like for one of you guys to share first. I'll give you guys like a couple of seconds to see who already feels like they already know some of the core values. No one?
I can share.
Thank you.
So one thing that's most important to me in my work is that I give off an accurate product, doing the best that I can in anything that I do. So it's kind of like a perfection thing, but that's one thing. Number 2, most important to me in my relationships is loyalty and honesty. I think it's important to be upfront with people as they should be with me. And then the most important thing in my social life is to surround myself with people that are not negative, like understanding that I know life happens and things are not perfect, but surrounding myself with people not only that are on the same wavelength that I am, but how are they actually asset to my life? What are they bringing to my life? What can I put in their life as well?
Thank you, Shanique. I love that. I have a couple of comments, so I don't know if you folks want to speak. I don't have to speak for you, so Naaz or Ruth, if you guys want to share, if you ladies want to share. you're more than welcome to. Okay. So Naaz said honesty. Ruth said vulnerability, transparency, family, and a solid work ethic. Chantel said growth, communication, and trust. That's dope. Okay. Thank you for sharing. So I'll share mine. So I have 8 core values. I will only give you 4. So the first 4 is trust, commitment, integrity, and love. For me, trust is everything. And trust is something that once broken is just like a glass in my perspective. And commitment is also everything, just committed to everything. I have a hard time with that because I learned the hard way to not expect me from people. So being able to trust and commit are very important. Integrity is who you are as a person, you know, your morals, your beliefs. That's very important to me in all aspects of my work, my relationships, and my social life. I want to get to a place where no matter what room I walk in, those core values are evident, not just because they're exuding out of me, but because they're exuding from the people that are around me. In love, I don't do nothing out of if I don't love it. Like is I be in the shallow waters with like, but when you just love, you just do it that much better. It's just like that statement that I usually tell my mom, oh, you cooked with love today, right? The food was great because you cooked it with love compared to other days, but you was just liking the idea of cooking, right? So those are my first 4 core values. And like I said, guys, there is a toolkit that's going to be sent out. And Tiana, you can go to the next slide. There's a toolkit that will be sent out with all of this. So it's like a self-reflection guide that helps you through that. So there's questions and prompts. And there's a core values one that will also help you with questions and prompts to help you. Get a notebook and pen ready because it's not as easy as I just made it seem. And Naaz also provided some self-care meditation tips and tricks for all of you. So does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the workshop today?
I enjoyed it.
Who's that? I can't see. I can't see anything. Who enjoyed the workshop?
Hey, this is Mishak, my left.
Hi, Misha. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Who else wants to share?
On the next slide, I just wanted to mention that we have more contact information if you guys would like to reach us. We have our LinkedIn or our preferred email. Any questions, definitely feel free to reach out. And thank you guys so much for joining this workshop. This was the first for myself. Jody has already done a few and she's amazing. So I just want to say she's so great. So thank you, Jody, for doing this with me. And thank you guys for listening to us. This was amazing. So hopefully there's more.
To mention, you guys are going down in history because this was our first virtual workshop for wellness. So boom.
Boom, drop the mic, Shanique. Thank you. This was fun. This was great. I'm excited, but I would have been more excited if we were in person, but that's okay. Next year, that's the goal. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Be on the lookout for the email with the toolkit and resources and contact us if you need anything. Thank you. I think they're going to kick us out any minute now.
Yeah, we'll transition back into the main meeting room. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.